Hotties here. We have our amazing guest, Shelby McFeeley. I've been really excited about this interview with you. As soon as I saw you in my comments on Facebook, I couldn't wait to learn about your business. It sounded absolutely remarkable. And then, of course, we have Monique, who has been on Wholesale Hotties longer than me, and I think we were both muted. And so, Monique, it's great to see you. You have no idea how great it is to see you. I had missed you. Yeah, I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay, Thank you, Jen.
It's so good to see both of you ladies. So go ahead, Monique, did you have any questions for Shelby before I get my motor mouth a running?
Thank you so much. We're just glad to be here today. And Shelby, actually, I don't know anything about you yet because had my head to the grindstone and the nose today, and my nose in the paperwork today, and didn't get a chance to read up on what you were working on. So please, I am so excited to hear about what you do.
Yes, that's well, I'm Shelby. I run a real estate investment business with my dad here in Garland, Texas. We've been doing this 14 years now. And been in quite some time. I started in it as a baby, or at least felt like I was.
So you were born into it.
Well, not quite actually. I actually before this I went to culinary school. I had desires to be a chef, and then he started this business back in 2011. So it's been 15 years now.
Perfect time to start, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a crazy time.
Yeah.
And I started helping him out, and then I just never left. So it's a running joke in the family that I'm just a really good cook at but I do real estate. So
everybody needs one of those in the family.
Yeah.
What's your main exit strategy, Shelby? You guys doing fix and flips, wholesale, rentals? Tell me what kind of stack you have going on.
Currently, we are just primarily focusing on wholesale, but we do fix and flip and buy and hold as well. We have gone down significantly in our rentals. At one point, I had 20 of them, but we've owner financed a few out. We've tried a couple different strategies and sold off a few, and are we're kind of starting back from scratch at this point. And just they did well. We were able to do cash out refinances on those. Had great
congratulations,
and just decided to go a different way. And right now I'm strictly doing wholesaling though. Just kind of been easier in this market. I have really good buyers, and they're constantly looking for properties from us. And I do a significant amount of marketing. Actually advertise on a radio station, do some direct mail, and that's worked out really well for us. If we find something that's just too good to pass, then of course we're going to take it down. But as of right now, we're sticking with wholesaling so far. But we've dipped into a little bit of everything on the single family side.
And
so go ahead, Monique.
Where are you located, Shelby? And do you invest only in your location, or are you everywhere?
I am in it's Dallas, Texas area. So we do mainly Dallas Fort Worth area, but I've had some really odd calls over the years, and I've done wholesale to property, and actually no, we did a short sale on it in Lebanon, Kansas. I've had stuff in Georgia, Mississippi. I get calls like as people drive through and they hear me on the radio, or they get a referral from somebody that knows me. I'm always going to find some way to help find a solution for them. So we make it work. But yeah, I primarily just do the North Texas area. But I'm not scared of going anywhere.
Where all were your rentals that you sold?
They were all in DFW. So most of them I have a really soft spot for Garland, which is where I live. That's a very prime area for having rentals. And then we've had Fort Worth, Irving, Farmersville. Goodness, just all kind of in this direct area. Are you, Jennifer? You're from this area too, right?
I am. So I actually grew up in a little town called Crandall for the first 14 years of my life, where going to Mesquite, the Town East Mall was, for all the locals will remember, that was the thing to do. It was a treat to get to go there. And then I moved up to McKinney in 1999, and then I moved to downtown Dallas for a little while. Then back to Collin County in Plano. I lived in Plano and McKinney for a long time, and then we ended up moving out to Sherman.
Oh, wow.
Near Sherman. because that was the only place where we could afford to buy a house. I mean, I was making like $40K a year whenever we bought this house just 8 years ago. Yeah, so it was like the last place where you could even buy a house making $40K a year, and now I don't think there's anywhere in the country where you could, buy a house making
maybe Ohio.
Yeah, right. Iowa, right?
Yep.
maybe a little bit of Arkansas too. Yeah, I've been doing like thinking of branching out to do virtual in different states. But I have one thing my dad and I talk about consistently is that we really, prefer actually walking the properties. That's why we like to stay local, because I don't know. I mean, I could probably discount it enough over the phone, but I really enjoy the going in person, meeting with the sellers and doing the walkthroughs of the property. And since we do rehabs, we know what we're talking about. We know what we're looking for. We're able to actually, give good feedback and have good rapport with buyers too, because we know what we're looking at on a rehab side of when we've actually walked through the property.
And the data shows that conversions are way higher going in person, and you can negotiate much more deeply. So if you can go in person, that typically is a lot better. And all of my eyelash technicians, nail ladies, there's a huge Vietnamese population in Garland. So whenever you have rentals there, do you ever rent to that demographic, or do they not rent much? They usually just buy.
I do not, actually. It's not a demographic I've come across very often. We
Interesting.
Get Hispanic families, and then just just generically over the years, any tenant I've had, usually it's the first person I meet with, and they stay forever. So
that is
long running. One of my longest running tenants, she was in one of my properties for 11 years. And she told me the day that she moved in, she said, her former landlord was selling the house. And I told her, we have no plans anytime soon. And she said, okay, I plan to die here. And
that's great. That's the perfect tenant.
We treated her, we treated her like family over the years. She saw my kids grow up. And she suffered through 2 bouts of cancer. And
wow,
about 2 years ago. And so we ended up losing her, but she stayed there throughout the entirety, and we checked on her quite frequently and had really good relationship with her and all the tenants that we've had.
That's really super great.
I know the other big demographic there, like you said, is the Latino population in Garland. I've really watched that explode in my lifetime. And so do you have a lot of Latino tenants there still in Garland?
The last we do around this area. I don't particularly. I'm down to. I think I have 2 rentals right now, so that's not any of my demographics. But I just sold one recently, and she actually, she was Latino as well. But she cleans properties for me, so I'm still in contact with her. She brought me tamales for Christmas, so
that is fantastic. I love that. So you said you're looking to rebuild your rental portfolio, and something about the Dallas-Fort Worth area is that it's really hard to even hit the 1% rule.
And I think that's kind of part of why we veered away from it recently. Just wholesale was better return for us. But I haven't bought anything as deeply discounted as we did back in 2013 through 2018.
I'm sure
we were building our rental portfolio to begin with. So just nothing sounds as exciting right now. And then that and the day-to-day maintenance, so the ultimate goal is, by me to take over majority of our company, and my dad kind of just slowly, not that I'll ever get him to quit doing things, but the goal is to retire him out of the business at some point. And he's our go-to handyman right now, or, the go-to one. If a tenant calls me, I call him. So, kind of, getting away from that daily maintenance criteria.
That's kind of a dream come true, I think.
We lost Jen. Oh no. Well, so it sounds like you get to tell us more about your story. So tell us a little bit about your. Okay.
Are we trying to get back?
I thought you left too, and I was like, oh no, everything's gone. But it was just another page just popped up in front of you.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. What was the question you were trying to ask?
No, finish. Did you get what Jen was saying and what she was? Do you have anything you want to answer to what she was saying?
Yeah, I'm still beginning of 2026, trying to figure out exactly where we want to go. I think I don't know that I'm for sure going to take down any rentals this year, but
Yeah.
fix and flips are definitely on the table for us. So if I find something, we have some really good private money partners and good connections with with lending companies that I'll take down any of that or utilize the cash that we have. But it just taking on a big project, and my dad does the GC on it, so it's just kind of a matter of where we're able to play our parts in that time of year. So right now, just strictly wholesale, but maybe the second half of 2026, I'll be doing some fix
So
and
do
flip.
you find wholesale is more like the what you have to do and how much you get is a little bit more either easier or less stressful or more money, or what do you find to be the most, if you're not
I
doing?
think I've been doing it so long. I don't know. Nobody really asked me that question. I don't go for the really big margins.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's probably why we still have a really good reputation in this business is, we make sure that the seller's taken care of and the buyers are taken care of. And it's not, we're not looking for gold on every deal. We kind of have this philosophy of, if we can get 5 deals at, or yeah, 5 deals at 10,000, or, we don't go for those big numbers. I've had some really big ones before, but that's not our ultimate goal. If we can cover marketing costs, take care of, business overhead and have a profit still at the end, then we're good with just doing multiple of them within a month. But sometimes we land those really good ones that are just, that make the quarter happen for us. But
Have you ever delved into like multifamily or bigger
I have
deals?
not. I have not. I have been very stuck in my box of single family residence, and I have not branched into that. I've checked them out, but I don't have. I'm one of those. I have to have a lot of knowledge in what I'm doing, and I overanalyze, and so I have to know all the things about it before I try it. So.
Well, sometimes you can balance out the other person is your partner, because that's kind of, my brother's my partner. And so we balance each other out in that area. So it kind of helps kind of like push one person a little bit further, and not that the other person doesn't go too fast where there's too many mistakes made too. So it works out that way.
Right. Yeah. My dad's more the action taker on stuff. And I'm like, wait, hold on.
I kind of thought that might be the case.
I have to go be the technology person behind it and figure out.
But that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
It is. It is.
It works, right?
We have a really good dynamic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot more now than there used to be. When we started this, we were pretty much the only like father daughter team. There wasn't a whole lot of family dynamics in this unless it was husband and wife.
Right.
And so it's been a really great marketing point with sellers too. They love the family business dynamic. They love over the years when I need to plug my computer in, it's about to die. Over the years when like I'm pregnant with my kids, that was the big win over sellers. Like everything family, like we really hone in on that aspect because it brings kind of a more commonality between us and the people that we're dealing with. Just getting on a real level with them and trying to make it, make them feel at ease with what we're doing.
And it sounds like you are very ethical with what you do.
I
and
am.
how you do it, and going into the homes and talking to them and caring enough about the people that are there that comes across.
Yes, we are very big on our core values, and one of the top ones is communication and integrity. And we really feel like we go through this business with morals and ethics, which is very uncommon these days. I mean, a lot of wholesalers get a really bad rap. I don't think there's hardly anybody you'll find out there that's going to say anything negative about us and our company, because we're upfront, we're direct, we're honest, we're direct with our sellers, we're direct with our buyers. I have full transparency. If it's a deal for you, it's a deal. If not, then we'll move on to the next person. But as long at the end of the day, as long as my sellers are taken care of, that's what I care about. My passion in this business, and it's lost me some money over the years, is really, making sure that we embody that, and that I'm not always going to be the best option for these sellers, but they came to me for a reason. A lot of them have heard me on a radio station that they trust. I've been on a couple of them, and we mainly market on Christian radio stations, and they're small small markets, but it's a niche group of people. And when they come to me, they're looking for somebody they can trust. And I try to provide that. And I offer all of my sellers, hey, if this isn't something that fits you, I can't buy every house, but feel free to come to me and let me know what options you have, and let's make sure you feel comfortable. It's takes away some of my spare time, but at the end of the day, I can still sleep at night, so I'm okay with that.
And do you just advertise, or do you actually do a podcast, or have more like this, like you're actually talking to people
Right.
on a live podcast?
Yes, this is actually, I've never done this before. So
okay, so it's your first.
Wow.
So funny. I actually met when Jennifer messaged me about this. I have avoided any kind of spotlight or anything with cameras, anything up until this past year. I did. I sponsored Texas Tuesday, which is a real estate mastermind group that we have here on first Tuesdays of the month. And
that's great.
Hosted by Ryan Jackson. And we've helped with that for years. And I finally was convinced to speak at it in September. And
congratulations.
Total nervous wreck to do it. But I beat that fear and I got out there and I did it. And I also went on a podcast with Mike Hambright, who does Investor Fuel. He's a good friend of ours. And we've been part of the Investor Fuel Mastermind group over the years. And so I'm trying to really tackle these fears of mine of getting out there. And I'm trying to put myself a little bit more out on social media so that we can just build a better network and connect with more people.
So what was the fear behind getting out there more? Because sometimes there are some legitimate fears behind that.
I used to be in orchestra in high school, and every time we would have concerts, I freak out. It's like I can talk all day long. Get me on the phone, or if it's just an act, the old school way that podcasts used to be done with just a microphone and there's no camera involved, I'm fine. But for some reason, when the camera comes on, I panic. I'm doing fine today. The irony in this is I actually, when I send my offers to sellers, I have kind of a special way that I do that. I send videos with my offers.
Do you really?
Yeah. And I outright tell them they love it. I get the best feedback with it.
What do they say?
I personalize every single offer that I send by doing a quick little, 2-3 minute video with their names and telling them, hey, thanks for meeting with us. And I give them a little quick rundown of the process and send it out. And I still stutter when I do those, but they love it. And it personalizes it for them and makes them feel seen and connected with me as somebody who they're wanting to sell their house to.
Okay, so now I desperately want to know about your sales process. So you go in, you look at the houses, and then you send them videos of offers after you're back in your office?
Yes. So we used to go in really hard and make offers right when we're there. But one thing I have learned, at least it's just what works for us, is if they're not quite ready, depending on what kind of information I get out of them while we're there, we aren't going to talk numbers right then. I have certain ways that I'll kind of try to pull it out of them. So when we actually do acquisitions together. So my dad and I go in together. He does the walkthrough because he does he runs all of our projects that we've done. So he knows exactly, he's been in construction for 30 plus years. He knows what he's looking for. So he'll go do the walkthrough and the inspection, and I'll sit down and I'll talk to the sellers, and I get, kind of figure out what their exact needs are, anything I wasn't able to pull out of them over the phone, and we figure out what their goals are. And then after he does his walkthrough, if he's not ready to present a number right then and he needs to go sharpen, sometimes we'll give them kind of a broad, hey, we're kind of in this range, but let us get it narrowed down exactly, and expect a response by end of day or, by next business day. So I put together a full formal offer for them based off of, after he goes through his repairs, and I figure out what our number is. And I send it in an email, and we'll send them a text message. In the email, it's got a video, and underneath that, they can click on it and pull up the PDF document with all of our.
Cool. So you send an email.
I do. I send it via email, and I'll text them to let them know that it's in there.
Great.
And I deal with a lot of probate situations too, or where people have passed away. So most of the family members that I deal with aren't even here. They don't even get to meet me. So one thing that I've learned is they've talked to me over the phone. They had somebody local let me in, but sending this video, they forward it to family members, and they're able to
smart
to kind of, it sets me sets me aside from the other people they're meeting with, because now they remember me. They've seen my face. They've talked
Exactly.
to me. They've been texting with me. They've, even if one family member met me in person, I get alerts anytime that the videos are open. So a lot of times I can tell when somebody's about to accept an offer. I've figured out the pattern, because I'm like, the email open, they played the video, they clicked the offer. Like it's been a great data point for us.
So what's the CRM and software that you use to send those videos?
I actually use BombBomb.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I formatted, a way for, or a standard email for us on there, and I even use it for sending an introduction before an appointment. Like, hey, this is how the process works, and it puts people at ease if they already know who they're dealing with before they meet you. And
I think that's awesome.
How do you take your video? Do you use Loom or do you use something else?
I just use my phone. There's an app for BombBomb on there, or I'll hop on my computer on their website and record it. But the quickest way for doing offers, because I'm always on the go, is to just do it on my phone real quick, and then my assistant can add it to the offer and send it out.
And what are your favorite comping tools for the area?
Well, I actually utilize MLS. So,
okay.
Yeah, I'm in the process of getting my license.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Haven't needed it for years, but I am an unlicensed assistant under one of my friend's accounts. And I do use that. I also have been using Propelio since they started.
Oh yeah, they've been around a long time now.
Yeah, I haven't been on the platform in the last month or so, but right now I'm mainly just utilizing MLS for stuff.
That's perfect.
I use Rehab Evaluator. That doesn't have MLS access, I recommend Propelio, and Batch Leads is the only other one that I've used.
Especially in a non-disclosure state like Texas, sometimes, and I do what I do nationally, and so I don't do much in Texas just because it's so much harder to get good returns here on marketing and rentals and whatnot. So I'm doing a lot in Florida for my own wholesaling. And so it's fine using Rehab Evaluator there. But when I try to use Rehab Evaluator here in Texas, because it's a non-disclosure state, it's really a lot harder to get comps. So you're saying that Propelio kind of gets around the non-disclosure?
Yeah. It does a pretty good job on pulling the MLS details for you.
Oh, that's good to know.
It's ran through MLS. I haven't checked on it in the last month or so. I've gotten really deep into the MLS side of it. But I mean, we used it for 10, or I don't even know when they started. I know at least we were doing Propelio meetups back in 2016, 2017. It's been over 10 years that we've been using it. And I actually I do use them. My assistant uses the platform. I would say I don't go on there and do it, but they still have a Driving for Dollars app that you can download. They still pull lists for probate, pre-foreclosure, substitute trustee sales, and I think a couple of other things that, for $100 a month, you can get all that data. So
that's really
great. I use their probate list. So, and
do you ever take your kids to see the properties?
My kids are homeschooled, so we do have the freedom to do that. But most of the time they're preteens now, so they'd rather just stay home, or they go hang out with my mom. I don't take them to seller appointments.
Not to sell, but I mean like vacant ones.
Yeah. They're used to me being the weirdo that stops the car in the middle of the street because I see a vacant house and I have to go be a creeper and trespass and try and figure out what's going on with it. So it's just normal to them. They've been around it since they were babies.
2 years ago, I was looking at wholesale houses here in DFW, and they'd have a lockbox, or someone would come to meet me out there, and I would bring my children. And every single time I'd wish to God that I had left them in the car. I keep thinking, Jennifer, why do you keep doing this? Because they would be so trashed and disgusting, and like you would feel weird after you got out of the house because the air would be so compromised by ammonia from urine, and like your throat was sore. Have you ever come out of a property and your throat was sore from all the ammonia, like from something that had urinated? I was like, oh God, I've really just got to start keeping an N95 mask in the car for going into these properties.
So my mom actually one year made little like kits for my dad and I for when we go to properties. There was like latex gloves, Vicks Vapor Rub, a mask, I think, in each one, and we We both put them in our vehicles, but we never utilize them because you never realize until you're in the midst of it.
Until you're in it and you walk and your shoes go squish, 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 squish,
Yep.
and you know it's from urine or God knows what, and you're like, I can't even bring these shoes back in the car.
I went to property one time and I came out and I was covered. My bottom half was covered with fleas.
Oh my gosh, that's the worst.
It was so disgusting. I couldn't believe it. And we're not very, we're not always very warm over here too. So it was in the summer and it just was a warm summer. And I guess the fleas proliferated during that time process that they were empty. So
oh my gosh,
we've had that happen.
Bless your heart.
My first experience is when I'm having to hold a conversation with sellers. I have a huge fear of German cockroaches.
Me too.
I will hyperventilate. I will burn everything down. And I've had to smile and talk to people while they're crawling by my head. And having to pretend that I don't see it. And it's heartbreaking to see people live that way. It really is. And you have to just, you still have to
have compassion.
And I mean, when I remember that one particular property because I got out and I think I was married at the time. I called my husband at the time and called my mom. And I was like, I'm going to burn my car down. I need y'all to go get bombs. Like, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I started hyperventilating and crying. Like, it's the worst. Now, if I see
it's so hard to get rid of.
I know. Now if I see one, I handle it a little bit better, but my dad's hilarious because he knows the moment I see one, I go, nope, this one's on you. I'll walk out. If nobody's there, like, of course, if there's a seller there, I handle myself appropriately.
It's piles of
right back out.
Mice turds that freak me out because, like, cockroaches are gross. They have salmonella. I've got chicken, so I feel like I have some natural immunity to salmonella. But the disease that comes in the mice turds is the one that freaks me out. So I try not to move anything and, like, get the dust to stirring. Also, nerd moment, I always have my fanny pack and not a purse. Okay. So I don't have to set it on the ground. Okay. I don't care how nerdy it looks. Being nerdy is pretty disarming anyway. So
that's a good plan, Jennifer.
Yeah. I may need to get a fanny pack now, actually.
Yeah. The fanny pack it communicates. I'm not here to do anything other than whatever it is I'm here to do. Right. I'm not here to look hot. I'm not here to be fashionable. And then also, like, you don't ever have to set it on anything in any public space. Smart.
Yeah, that's the new wholesale hotties trend for 2020.
That and the beekeeper suit at dusk. Okay, that way you don't get bit by mosquitoes and you don't have to wear off. That's something that all my neighbors laughing about. I'm like, you keep laughing, you're getting bit. I'm not. So.
Those mosquitoes, they don't like me.
They don't? Oh, you're so lucky.
I got weird blood. I don't know. They don't bite me. They bite everybody around me.
But the fleas like you.
Oh, they like my pants or something. They're great.
Have you seen a proliferation of the giant American cockroaches here in DFW, Shelby?
Okay, yeah, those like to fly at me during the summertime. So
they fly.
Yes, they like to fly right at your head.
They do. I live in a pier and beam house, so I have this rule of I don't want to look under that hatch and see what's under the house because I don't need to know what lives under there.
I live in a pier and beam house too.
Yeah, they come out looking for water when that heat hits high in the summertime.
They do. August is the time. I had one jump in the bathtub with me August 2 years ago, and I pretty much went into my second life at that point. It's like it was like a cat with 9 lives. That one of my 9 lives ended whenever that thing jumped into the bathtub with me. And so you have to spray pesticides underneath the house whenever you have a crawl space. So we have to get this horse jockey sized man to get under the house. So we're just riffing on North Texas ailments right now. Crawl spaces and the giant, because when I was growing up, giant cockroaches were not a thing. Hardly at all.
No, I remember them. I remember getting trapped in upstairs when I was probably like 6 or 7 because one was on the windowsill in the stairway and my sister got downstairs before I did. And and I got stuck and trapped.
You get stuck. I didn't start seeing them all the time everywhere until about 10 years ago. And didn't, even going back to my grandma's house now, I'll see dead ones and I'll, talk to the person who's taking care of her. And I'm like, I grew up in this house. I never saw one giant cockroach in the 14 years I lived in this house. So that being said, as you're going through properties, and you see these things, does that just make you like want to buy the house more, or does it make you go, okay, no, this is not the house for me?
No, it makes me want to buy the house more. I mean, it kind of like the ones that smell awful. I mean, everybody always says it smells like money. I think I've only had one house that I truly never wanted to enter, and I didn't because I could smell it from the outside. It was 2 acres of land, and it was a trailer sitting on the 2 acres, and there was 27 cats that had been living in this trailer. And I mean, before I even got like 15 feet from the property, I could smell. And I'm like, well, I already know everything has to be taken care of. So there's no need for me to see anything at this point.
There's nothing, because it's all going to have to be taken down to the concrete or stuff.
I bought that one.
That's awesome. Did they give you a good price quickly, or did you have to have a come to Jesus?
They did not argue with me whatsoever.
Wow. Don't you love those? Those are rare.
That's fair enough.
That's great. And then what are some of your goals in terms of how many acquisitions? Is there a cap? Are you like, more than 10 is too much, and less than 3 is not enough? So is there like a goal that you have in terms of how many transactions you prefer to do per month?
No, I will take all the transactions.
As many as you can.
No, yeah. I hit February. I had to look back. February was very slow for us. And I've looked back for some reason over the years. February and July are my two slowest months.
Interesting.
It's starting to, I don't know why, but they just are for me. November, for some reason, seems to be my best month, which is some people's worst month. I don't know if it's just our company or what, but it's the trends that I've seen over the years, going back and looking at our KPIs and what we've had annually. So I know there's never too much. We're small. I mean, it's my dad, me. We have a transaction coordinator that helps us when we have things under contract, and then my assistant in the Philippines, who's been with us for 6 years. So we make it happen. We are small but mighty.
That's great.
I'd say, right now we're still at that 2 to 5 deal because I haven't amped up. I think a goal for me this year is to get to a point where I can bring somebody else on, bring somebody that answers the phones, because it's a lot. I mean, I wear a lot of hats in this business. I do
yes, I bet.
I do lead management. I handle acquisitions, dispositions, and luckily I'm not doing the TC work. I still stick my nose in it a little too much, but I hold on to everything. But if I could get somebody to handle lead management, then just focus my time on the other aspects of business.
The hardest thing is letting go.
Very much so.
Letting somebody
so many aspects of life too.
That's true. And trusting that they'll be able to do
what we do in the way we do it. Yeah. So I'm praying that this year I, get enough built up with my, systems and processes that I feel comfortable enough to say, okay, I laid it all out. Here it is. And pass
That's what it takes.
And it's still the way you want it.
I know. I'm gonna have to let go of my control a little bit.
And everyone I know who hires a full-time lead manager, they often 3 or 4x the amount of deals that they do, just because as an operator, it is so incredibly painful to go through and do all of your leads and go through and set those appointments. So I have a question for you, Shelby, in terms, and you don't have to answer this publicly, but sometimes, I want my son to join me. He's 16. And I'm thinking, I don't know how I'm going to share the money with him, though. So can I double my volume enough to where we can both make that? So without going like too personal, how did you and your dad, for someone who wants to have my son join me, how did you guys work out? Okay, I'm used to making all the money myself. So how do I double my revenue enough to where, my son gets his part and I get my part?
Well, so we're structured under an LLC. So what we do is, we actually just pay ourselves salaries. We don't pull a whole lot from the company. We take what we need and that we're comfortable with, and if there's something, you know, additional we need to do, then we'll just discuss it with each other and you know, and pull it. But anything that can be applied to business, we have an amazing CPA who, you know, marks things appropriately for us at the end of every year. And you know, we work off of, hey, this is what we need or what we feel comfortable with, and we pull that, and we're good with it.
So then you have a salary where that's your salary. Mm-hmm. And then if you guys make above and beyond that salary, you just put it back into the company. And again, I'm not trying to be too personal. I'm just honestly.
That's precisely what we do. We put it into the company so that it's there if we, you know, we need it for a project or we need it for, you know, try a new marketing avenue or whatever that may be, it's there.
Well, thank you for that insight. So it sounds like salary is probably the way to go. We just have to make sure we make enough to where the salary makes sense.
You got to cover the overhead, cover the market, take, you know, deduct your stuff from the front of it, and then you pull what you need. There's actually a really good book out there from a friend of mine in this business, Profit First.
Yes, with David.
Yeah, Profit First with real estate investing, and that's definitely a good principle to live by.
Well said. I agree. He's one of my favorite people. He's a good guy.
He's the co-founder is actually in one of my masterminds with us.
What mastermind?
Oh, really?
Yeah, with Mark Evans. DM.
That's fantastic. And then Shelby, are you seeing your own children? Like, do you foresee them getting into the business once they're adults?
Not at all. They don't seem to. I think they are so annoyed with their entire lives. I hope they will. I think they'll see the investment, you know, opportunity with that. But if I ask them right now at 11 and 13, it's absolutely not. So.
Yeah. My oldest son remembers us being really poor. And so he's very interested in joining the business.
Oh, that's awesome.
But my younger son does not remember being poor. And so he wants to be a chef, like you talked about, you know. And so whenever we took him to a fancy dinner once and he told the guy he wants to be a chef, and the chef knew that, you know, he knew what I did for a living. He's like, I think you need to do what your mom does.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is I decided not to go back to that life because, you know, just the service industry in itself and I actually ended up pregnant with my daughter a few months later after I started doing this. So I was like, that's no way to, you know, I'm not going to be able to, you know, be as involved as I want to be running around, you know, 16-hour shifts and random days off. And, you know, I ended up just being really good at this and dealing with sellers on
awesome.
On such a good level that, you know, I just never left. So I still feel like maybe one day, you know, not being a chef per se, but at least opening a restaurant. I don't know. I haven't decided. It's not as exciting to me now as it was. Like cooking for me and my family is much more fun than cooking for customers.
And you mentioned, because, you know, personal life does go into business life. Mm-hmm. You mentioned that you used to be married. And so it sounds like maybe you're doing this homeschooling. Did you ever get remarried, or are you doing this like as a single mom? Because that matters in terms of logistics.
Yeah, it does. My divorce was finalized June of last year. So, I mean, he was around while I was building this business with my dad. But
that's good.
It's been a rough transition for us. It's been a hard year of, I was married for 16 years.
That's a long time.
It is. It's been a hard transition of, you know, going from having my kids, you know, every single day to every other week, and, you know, figuring out who I am outside of, you know, I got married at 19, 19, 20, and, you know, trying to figure out, you know, my identity. It's, you know, it's a lot to take on when you're running a business and trying to be a mom and you homeschool and going through major life changes. So,
yes,
it definitely affects. There was a lot of complaints about, you know, always being on my phone because we know real estate never sleeps. but no, I'm just single me right now with raising my kids.
For me, the hardest night was the first night after he moved out, and that first night alone was brutal.
Oh no, I prayed for that. My kids are.
That's it, yeah. But I found it got easier.
Mine was a very rough situation. So
I'm glad I'm glad it's what you wanted and that it brought you peace.
Yeah, no, I'm very good right now.
That's great. So then it sounds like maybe it opened up bandwidth for you.
It did. It did. And it's still taken a while to figure out, who I am outside of all that stuff, and rediscovering myself and going through a healing process to be able to get back on my feet and find my spark and what brings me joy and, in life, and make a balance for me and my kids.
How many kids do you have, Shelby?
I have two. I have a boy and a girl, and both. One just turned a teenager, and she's been a teenager since she was 3. So and then my son will be 12 next month.
That's great. And what are some of your favorite investments that are truly passive? Do you have any that you're really kind of bullish on right now that you like?
No, just sticking with the single family. Our favorites are the 3 2s, and the Dallas County is probably my favorite. But yeah, no, I'm just sticking with houses right now. I haven't really ventured out much into other investment areas.
Do you think now that you're single and you're kind of figuring yourself out and you're kind of discovering new things, do you think that you might discover that there might be more things that you want to invest in?
Definitely. I have some plans, but I'm trying to keep myself a little focused. Like, I need to get this license, get my real estate license finished, and then I can branch out into helping people, because I have a lot of listing referrals that I end up with. And so
good.
Now I can start taking those on and just have that as another stream of revenue for us.
Absolutely.
And also, I think I did a closing notary thing. I haven't utilized that yet, but I need to. I'm finding all these little different ways. If I'm ever needed or necessary, I've got the qualifications to do it. And I've looked into a couple of different investing strategies. I'm trying to figure out if there's maybe another type of business that I want to bring out to. It's all new this year. I've got to get this one, flowing consistently enough in 2026 to where I can step away a little bit and start looking into some things.
I like sometimes I get tempted by the thought of dirty, like, simple dirty businesses, as they say, dirty jobs, picking up poop or coin laundry, or I even like what Monique does, which I would consider a dirty job, which is the having to clean up after fire and flood.
Oh gosh, yes, those are rough.
Oh, we've got rat feces. We got all kinds of homes that we go. Now, I don't personally go into the crawl spaces and do the installation of the vapor barriers, the rat feces, or I've got people that do that, but it's still we have pictures and we have social media that we post on, and reports that we send to insurance companies. So we definitely have that in our wheelhouse.
Do you do mold remediation?
We do mold.
Okay. Oh, that's a big deal.
Leak detection. Yeah, we do most of it.
That's quite a bit.
And we do the rebuild too. So we rebuild the houses after the damage. But yeah, it can be a dirty job. And
yeah, those are the toughest rehab jobs to do. We had one of our first rentals that we took down was a full burnout, and it was just down to the studs by the time that we got to it. And
they can
awful. We didn't have to do the restoration side of it though. So
well, they can the smell can linger, so there's a smoke seal that goes into that.
Interesting.
Yeah, and a scrub and everything. So yeah. But the crawling through the poop with the sewer leaks, that's the worst. The guys.
Oh gosh.
What the guys have to do. You just get the point, right?
I always joke about in feminism, we really want the CEO level jobs. We don't want to go down the sewer manholes. We don't want to stand on the
we're not going to pull the snakes out. We're not going to wipe away the poop. Not put our hands down the drain or that garbage disposal. Oh no, that something might happen down there.
Oh yeah, no, I have an avid fear of anything with garbage disposal. I think that's from Final Destination movie. Being
oh no.
But it's funny, since going through my divorce, I keep joking that there are boy jobs and there are girl jobs, and there are things that I have to do in my house now, which I probably did most of the time myself anyway. But something as simple as taking the trash down to the curb for the week picked up,
or
and I'm
killing a bug,
Yes, but I mean, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, even when you have to be the man in the situation.
I'm proud of you for that, because I'm telling you, there are times I've stayed in my relationship and I'm thinking, I am so ready to be rid of this SOB, but it's been years, right? I mean, the great thing about hormones coming down is it really has calmed me down a lot. Like other women, it seems like makes them more crazy. I think it's made me less crazy to have hormones go down. But I would keep him around at some time just so I didn't have to do things
you
like
didn't have to kill the bug or build the thing or
or get the hair out of the drain. You know, like the bathtub clogs, you have to get the hanger and get down there with the hair and it's covered in slop. Like, no, that's worth everything else.
I'm so blessed. I still have my dad who can come handle some of these things.
That's true.
But, and I am all for women being in power all day long, but at the same time, I don't want to. So, exactly. Hopefully my soulmate comes knocking on the door and handles all those things for me.
Well, that's what the boys are for, our sons, they grow older, they become teenagers. It's like, guess what? The bathtub has to have the drain cleaned out of
learn all this
hair, and you get to do that.
Yeah. It's like a disturbing form of fishing, you pull out all the hair and all that.
Yeah.
So all that to be said, Shelby, I'm so proud of everything that you're doing. I mean, you're doing everything right now. And I just want to say, we see you, girl. We see you. We're proud of you. And I know there's so many unsung moments where I don't see you posting on social media like, look at me doing this, look at me doing that. Because I would. I mean, if I'm doing little stuff that I hate, I feel like I need someone to clap for me. I don't care if it's that one nerdy guy who likes every post that I post. Like,
those are all the ones talking themselves in my inbox. Yeah. No, I mean, I've spoke up recently about my story and the trauma that I went through and some things like that. So I'm taking some small, bold actions. I might start getting the validation there for the killing the bugs and stuff too. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, if I ever see it come in my feed, I will always put a heart on it.
Thank you.
You can count on that heart from me.
I certainly will. I do it for you. So we'll just have each other's back.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you saw my post last night, and I was just thinking about. So, like right now, I feel like what we're doing, we're building community, right? We're building each other up. We're pouring love and knowledge and kindness and caring into each other and translating that into business. And then there are people where you can try for years and years and years to show them love and kindness and support and build community and pour into them. And it's just like pouring it into an empty, like a cup with no bottom. And I'm like, there are so many people who actually need my love and would appreciate it. You know what I mean?
I 100% understand that because I just went through a situation where, something like that. But there are people in our lives, that just don't have capacity for it and don't have the ability to receive it. And you have to learn when to withdraw your energy and where you need to place it. You have to learn when it's time to just step back. You fill yourself up so that you can pour into others.
That's right. Is there anything that you would like to leave your audience here? Anything that you felt like, okay, this was the one thing that made me super successful that I don't see my competitors doing on a day-to-day basis?
Not one particular thing. Something that I do tell everybody, and just because of the reputation that wholesalers have in this business, lead yourself with integrity, because you could run yourself out of this business within a year or 2 years if you're out here daisy chaining deals, if you're not working, you're not being honest. I mean, I have not run across a buyer that I've worked with yet that has something bad to say, because same with sellers, because I lead with integrity. I mean, you're getting exactly what I promised you were getting, and I'm going to work with you on that. There's transparency and integrity in this business go a long way, and you can build some amazing relationships, and they turn into long-term partnerships. And I highly recommend that the people just starting out in this business. I know it's exciting and getting all the money is there, but sometimes at the end of the day, it's, make sure that you're a true person, true to yourself, and conducting yourself that way outwardly, because I've met some amazing souls in this business and have built some of the best friendships and partnerships, and I don't regret it. I have lost money by not scheming, against other people or there were different ways that I could have handled things, but I chose to lead with integrity. And I think everybody should conduct themselves that way.
And what's the name, Shelby, of your company?
Living Way Properties.
Living Way Properties. So, and if somebody was trying to get a hold of you, you got your phone number here. Can they text you? Do they call you?
Text me. If I don't respond, don't don't feel bad about sending me a reminder. You probably got shoved down about 20 other text threads. It's just on a daily basis. Like I was scrolling today, I was like, man, I've talked to a lot of people today.
That's good.
Facebook Messenger is probably one of the better places to get a hold of me as well. I actually probably have about 6 messages right now of people wanting a property I have. But I'm all about, I don't have a whole lot of extra time to give, but if you have a question about the industry or a question about a deal you may have, I'm more than happy to help in any area that I can.
That's super great. Super great. And again, what's the name of the company? It's
Living Way Properties.
Way Properties. Okay. And is it Living, you have a website too?
Yes. Yeah. livingwayproperties.com.
Okay.
Yeah. But for anybody not looking to sell a house, Facebook or Instagram or my phone number are going to be the best routes.
Very wonderful. Well, it was so great meeting you and so great talking to you today. We're getting up to the end of the hour here. So we're super appreciative that you came on today to visit with us and to talk and to share your story.
Thank you, ladies, for having me.
Of course. Of course. And I guess we'll see everybody next week.
All right.
Sounds great. Really inspired, Shelby. Thank you so much. It's great to meet you.
Do you know, are you turning it off, Jennifer?
I think Donda said she wasn't sure how. So I told her, it was like we were a little bit lost without Sharon. So I could always do stop video and just see.
My concern is that it's recording and the recording needs to upload, I believe, or do something before we actually go out of the whole. I think you can turn the video. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. And that was one of the things I asked her before she left. I was like, how do we make sure that this gets recorded?
Let me, is she busy?
Yeah, she's in Taos with her husband.
Right. But is she I got an appointment right now? I'll call and see.
I don't think so. Yeah, go for it.
I guess we could call Sharon.
Yeah, I don't know. I think she's moving today.
Hello. Hi, we need help. Yes. We're done and we don't know how to turn it off and we don't want to mess up the video. So we're calling you guys. It's being recorded as I'm saying all of this. So
yes.
Okay. I thought you were the super tech person behind her. Oh no. So do we stay on, normally how we stay on right afterwards when it shuts off? To make sure the video uploads and oh. Okay. Okay. Okay, perfect. It went well. Might have to do some editing because it's taping this whole conversation, recording this whole conversation. Okay.